This is a picture of me wearing my great-great-grandmother's wedding dress. It's customary that Libyan Jewish women were wearing traditional dresses, and I wore the same thing for my wedding. I was born and raised in Tripoli, Libya, and from a family that had been living in the area for over 2,000 years. From a very young age of 6 years old, my mother and I went in to check into the school that was in the neighborhood, and when we walked in, the teacher was saying to the 6-year-old little girls, if you have 10 Jews and you kill 5 of them, how many Jews do you have left to kill? Jews in Libya specifically never knew who was going to come in and possibly kill you and who was going to save you. I remembered being the 5th of June of 1967. My mother called the office and said that our home had been surrounded by mob and that they put a white X on it and they had burned all the cars that were parked along the side of the road, and they were intent to burn our house as well. It was because this Egyptian man rushed out to the mob and stopped them for pouring gasoline on the house. They said, oh no, we know this building is owned by a Jewish family. And he said, yes, it is, you're right, but they went to Italy to see their son, which was not true. He saved my family's life. A police officer came in, took a fat bribe from my father at the time, took the keys to his car as part of the bribe, and came back with the travel documents with the one-way exit visa. We were never to be returning to Libya. Instead of taking us to the airport, they stopped halfway to a hotel. And they said, all you filthy Jews, get out. So we get out, and my father is asking, what's going on? Aren't you supposed to take us to the airport? No. They said, we don't have enough soldiers to protect Jews. You're on your own. So having no choice, miraculously, a bus pulls up going to the airport. So we board the bus, and on the way to the airport, the bus pulls over on a dirt road, and the driver starts pulling a lever, and the conductor, when I asked him what's going on, why are you stopping, he starts pushing me away. I decided to get off the bus and go and get some help, and quickly called Brian, who was the British man who hit me in his home. I went back to the bus, only to find out when I looked down that there was a huge pool of gasoline under the bus. It turned out that the driver who was pulling the lever was siphoning off the gasoline off the bus with the intention of obviously burning the bus and my whole family inside it. I didn't want anybody to panic, so I stayed outside and I followed the bus driver. I just realized that the driver had the packet of matches in his hands. Actually, our life was in that packet of matches. 2 Jeeps came up and pulled over. One was the Jeep with Brian. A second Jeep was his neighbor and also an engineer working for the same company. 2 wonderful Christian British men. And we boarded those 2 Jeeps and we got to the airport. Eventually, we got on the plane. Jewish people over the centuries and over hundreds of years have been victimized, whether it's the pogroms in Russia or medieval time or persecution under the Romans or name it. We always moved on. We never lost our dignity. And I think this goes throughout the history, that we were victimized, but we never felt as victims. Israel is really the only place for Jewish people. If anti-Semitism was to occur anywhere in the world, the Jews would have a place to go. I'm Gina Waldman, and I was a refugee.